Well, Fox News got rid of Dan Bongino.
What the fuck?
Then they got rid of Tucker Carlson.
Fuck.
Ratings tanked by 70%. Fox viewers go over to Newsmax.
Damn!
And of course, Fox blames you.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Surprised? Nah. I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this
What the hell's going on out here?
is what's next. Happy Friday, everyone. Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily, of course, as always, facts, common sense, and salt. Enjoy the day. Of course, now we're at the weekend. Well, of course, the situation at Fox is looking somewhat dire. Right after they fired Tucker Carlson, you knew ratings were going to take a hit. You knew they were going to take a hit, and take a hit they did. Ratings tanked by 70%. The biggest hit Fox News has ever taken pre 9/11. 23 years. But is there more to the story? You know, you got rid of Dan Bongino. You got rid of Tucker. Ratings tank. You got some at Fox viewers going over to other outlets, such as Newsmax. Fox is running around with their heads cut off, you know, trying to quell the situation. But no, they can't. And there's more to it. Let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. Exclusive. Disarray consumes Fox News as Murdoch attempts to reassert control with Carlson and Bongino ousters. You got rid of the franchise. Now suffer the consequences. Fox News is trying to sideline former Tucker Carlson Tonight host Tucker Carlson through the 2024 election. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told Breitbart News. Carlson's current contract runs through December 24. And as now 3 sources are familiar with the matter told Breitbart News, executives of the network are trying to keep Carlson on the bench and not release him until after the 24 election because of what Tucker could do, the damage he could do. The shocking decision to cancel Carlson's top-rated weeknight program just came days after the network shut down its top-rated weekend program host Dan Bongino. What follows here is an insider account of people actually in the know of Breitbart News spent the past several days interviewing key players in the personnel matters at Fox, asking what really happened. This may go on a little bit longer. I may do a 2-parter. We'll see. 2 things are clear from speaking to the people who actually know what's happening on the inside. First, the official narrative of the network is untrue. Second, perhaps more importantly, many of the leaks and speculation that have poured out the past couple of days since the bombshell news of Carlson's show getting canceled was announced are also simply untrue. Nobody would speak on the record for a number of reasons. First off, Fox News and broader Murdoch empire are known for their ruthlessness against anyone who speaks the truth about actually what's happening here. Murdoch spokeswoman Irene Burgani is believed to use outlets also owned by the Murdochs like the Post and Wall Street Journal to plant pieces that reflect poorly on the foes of the corporation. Excuse me. Secondly, both Carlson and Bongino are technically still under contract by the network. Bongino's contract runs through the end of April, and Carlson runs through 24, general election. Both are, sources say, trying to negotiate exit packages. And even as they are formally have those agreements in place, there will be non-disparagement clauses that prevent them from ever speaking the truth about this. Interesting. In response to the request on comments on the story, Fox News spokesperson just reissued to Breitbart the same public statements that the network issued when announcing Carlson and Bongino's departures. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service and get the fuck out. We thank Dan for his contribution, and wish him success in future endeavors and get the fuck out. The brazen power by the Murdoch family. At the helm is elderly patriarch Rupert Murdoch, but rising in power are his sons Lacan, I'm butchering his name, I really don't care, and James Murdoch, who is the key player, is like at a scene at the HBO show Succession. They wiped out their biggest shows on both weekend and weekdays and to show the rest of the staff who's the real boss. But in effect, insiders say they created a crisis that quickly burgeoning out of control. In Succession, an aging media mogul, Logan Roy, navigates major business decisions for a sprawling empire while his children aggressively use whatever leverage they have to manipulate goings on advantages their own positions. While Rupert Murdoch is said to, quote, hate the show, the plot is actually very close to what's happening in real life. Fox News parent company, Fox News Corp, as an adult children, Rupert Murdoch makes moves in their bid, to succeed their father. As of right now, the plans remain the same. Pay out Carlson contract to keep him from sidelining through the 24 election. One source close to Fox News executives told Breitbart News. They knew they would take a beating for this, but everyone, and I mean everyone, is rattled. They weren't expecting the blowback to be this bad. Really? Hate to say it, but it's clear that Rupert has lost a step or two. This objective is true. The blowback has been severe this week, as evident by a steep drop in Fox News ratings. Now, this is the little eunuch, as Tucker Carlson will call him, so these numbers are a lot more skewed than they should be. Fox News viewership at 8 p.m. Tucker's finale on Friday, 2.65 million. I've heard sources and I've read things that were up to 3.25 million, his final episode. Monday, 2.59. Then the ratings tank, drops to 1.7, and then Wednesday, 1.33. Gee, I wonder where they're going. Blaze? Newsmax, anyone? In fact, the replacement host, Brian Kilmeade, and it's not his fault, lost to MSNBC in all ratings and lost to CNN and NBC in key demographic on Wednesday night. For the first time in Fox history, they lost the 8 p.m. slot. Multiple sources told Breitbart News that this detail about Carlson's contract is still not fired. You know that's right, another Fox News source told about Carlson. His contract is still ongoing. A third source close to Carlson also said, noting that the Murdochs may end up trying to hold Carlson to his contract throughout the next election to effectively silence him and keep him from becoming serious competition to them, whatever he ends up doing. Former Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly also reported the details on her show Thursday, saying that Carlson and Fox have been negotiating his exit while his show is canceled and has been kicked out of the company email address. His contract is still in effect, which keeps him from doing anything else.
I'm in termination and have a lot of thoughts about it. I want to, I think, break some news for you. Tucker Carlson hasn't actually been fired. He's still an employee of the Fox News channel.
Benched.
What happened was Suzanne Scott called him, she's the CEO, on Monday morning and said he was not going to be allowed to do any more shows and that he had been kicked out of his company email. And now they're going to have to negotiate an exit. Some reporting to me suggests that she said it's going to be an amicable parting. Right, isn't it? Completely catching Tucker off guard. But Tucker's not fired. That's my information. That he still needs to negotiate the exit and that right now he's not free to launch a podcast or a digital show or negotiate with other employers at all because he's still under contract. They pulled his show off the air. They also fired his executive producer, Justin Wells.
Yeah,
and
he left as well.
Though he tried to find out why, they wouldn't tell him. They
Shocker.
refused to tell him why.
What?
I mean, to me, that's just so disheartening. He's been at the company for years. He'd been in the prime time for 7 years and saw Fox News through one of the most difficult times in its history. The immediate era post Roger Ailes, where they didn't know left from right. They didn't know up from down. They really didn't have strong management leading the company. And they had lost two of their biggest stars, Bill O'Reilly and me, at least at that time. So Tucker takes over. It's a huge order.
She's not patting her
that
back,
he was
though.
given.
Basically,
and
that's
he did
fact.
it. He
That's
smashed
fact.
the ball out of the park.
Correct.
And he took a lot of risks, and he was heterodox. He pushed against the orthodoxy on so many different things. And typically Fox News liked that. So why? Why now? What was it that led them to treat their number one star with such disdain? I mean, dripping disdain to the point where he can no longer access his email. He doesn't get to tell his own team. He doesn't get to say goodbye. I mean, it's
That's some
absolutely
bullshit.
disrespectful to him.
That is absolute bullshit.
And unlike Don Lemon, he hadn't been immersed in controversy after controversy inside the building against his own colleagues. Yes, the leftist media had been coming after him repeatedly. And in the case of Dominion, to some extent, lawyers, though he wasn't their primary focus. So what
Correct.
was it? What would make your own company turn against you like that? The Fox News audience is clearly mad, and I don't blame them. It'll be interesting to see what the ratings were for the 8 p.m. hour last night. Brian Kilmeade hosted it. It's a rotating cast for now. And we'll see what they decide to do there. It's not Brian's fault. I mean, here's Brian, FYI. Here he is in a moment where he is kind of acknowledging what happened. I'll just play you the 14 seconds. It's not
It's very,
21.
it's
Hi,
very
everybody,
awkward.
and welcome to Fox News Tonight. I am Brian Kilmeade. As you probably have heard, Fox News and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. I wish Tucker the best. I'm great friends with Tucker and always will be. But right now, it's time for Fox News Tonight, so let's get started.
That's it.
Kilmeade's a sweet guy, and he's a company man. I'm sure he wasn't thrilled to be asked to do that show on that particular day.
That's like
but
literally
he did,
seriously,
because he's
dude.
a
That's
loyal
like saying,
employee.
okay, you cut
And Fox News
Jordan,
is banking on
dude.
its audience
You're
not
coming
being-
off the bench to
on
start
its
for
audience
him,
being
and
more
you're
in
like,
love with the Fox
what?
News brand than they were with Tucker. And we'll see. We'll see whether or not that's true. But I just think the way they handled it was disrespectful and gross. And I think Tucker Carlson deserved better.
Absolutely.
I certainly hope that he uses Brian Friedman, my old lawyer, to get the remainder of his contract. The Wall Street Journal reporting that Tucker was making around $20 million a year. And that they will pay him out on his deal. I don't know when it expired, but he was in the process reportedly of negotiating a renewal. So they should pay him out, and they should let him out of his non-compete so he can go out there and get his voice on the air now when his audience will most be missing it. Joining me now to discuss both media shakeups, the one at 5.
Okay. She was dropping mics. Megyn Kelly was dropping mics throughout that entire clip. They treated Tucker like a pariah. They literally treated him like a pariah. I mean, you want to talk about persona non grata. This guy, and she stated factually regarding the whole Murdoch shakeup. And of course, during the 2020 election, the most ethical election of all time, bullshit, total fraud and schneid, Tucker stood strong. Yes, you could say he made some, hiccups along the way, but every news personality does that. Don Lemon was doing it on a daily basis on his show. Every night he was doing that. Brian Stelter, Little Eunuch, was doing that every night on his show on CNN before he got fired, and rightly so. But Tucker, no. Tucker's your franchise. He was your number one guy for 7 years. The number one on news, not just cable news, on news, period. And you treated him like shit. That's the reason why you want to keep him silent through 24. Now, of course, he's going to have great attorneys. Megyn Kelly's former attorney has been hired by him, from what I've been reading on Twitter. But at the end of the day, he's going to get his. He's going to get his. So I initially said that this was, I was going to try to do this in one video. So this is part one. I'm going to do a two-parter on this one because this story is very interesting. I read through the entire story, and like I said, it's very interesting, and there's more to come. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll see you on part two. Peace.